Okay, line-out ball off the top and murdered. Ooh, Rappi. Yo. It is done. 4 years of normal rugby is over and we're into the final World Cup sprint. Let's have a closer look at the last two big games that signed off the cycle. On Saturday, brunch havers in South Africa could enjoy episode 57 of The Boys Try to Touch the Bledisloe. At first, we were smiling as Australia was somehow in the lead after 30 minutes into the first half. Happy days, right? No, don't be naive. The world is pain. And this is the 2023 Wallabies we're talking about. Stereotypes demanded a yellow card and Korobeti obliged at 25 minutes. Cue the All Blacks stereotypical try cluster bomb just before half time. And the score ballooning from 7 points to 5 at 32 minutes to 7 points to 19 at the break. And then the Wallabies did not score again all night. At least some of the Wallabies' weirder stats evened out in this game. Instead of getting only a third of possession and territory, this time they got nearly half. That's progress. Some more things to fix include over 200 tackles and 1.5 yellow cards per game. They get to try and fix those against the All Blacks again and then France. Speaking of the All Blacks, they don't look like they need anything fixed before the big tournament. Their pack has turned into a focused beam of energy. The players are all working hard without overcomplicating things, and they always seem to be close enough together that a blanket could cover them. You just can't get into those rucks. They are so good at just carrying and recycling the ball at speed. And then once they've splintered you up the middle, any one of Richie or Bowden or even Geordie can choose to go wide. I keep saying it to whomever can stand my constant rugby chat. Jason Ryan has turned this forward pack back into the monster that we all know and fear. In the end, the AB secured Rugby Championship number 11,105,000 with a 7-38 point hammering of their beleaguered neighbours. Also, I am entering the Ugly Barrett's name into the Player of the Year chat after the form he's shown in the last 3 games, and also because of his campaign against mouthy nines. That's God's work. Later on Saturday, I went to Ellis Park to watch the Springboks take on Los Pumas. And look, not even stabbed once. The park and its surrounding area during a Bok game is not some lawless hellscape. No one is getting murdered or kidnapped while buying their phallic snacks. Grant Williams, however, did look dead after only 3 seconds into the game. He got knocked out cold from a pretty bad charge down, and the game never really got going from there. The Boks struggled to get their hands on the ball, and when they did, those hands had already fossilized from lack of use. You could tell some of the players were trying to make up for their poor showing in Auckland, and it led to the dreaded individualism. Snyman and Marks would do some incredible 1-2 offload pawn move only for no one to be backing up after the break. Faf would dummy the box kick and run, only to end up lost and alone, 20 meters upfield. The whole thing was stop-start and frustrating and like 20 minutes longer than it needed to be. I've been told that before. That just so happens to be the type of game that the Pumas love. They seem to be having a grand old time, just flinging the ball around, kicking contestables and just being general shithouses. I have a sneaky feeling that they might be causing all kinds of damage on the fluffier side of the World Cup draw. And so that was the Rugby Championship for 2023. The All Blacks are looking scary. The Boks are lacking cohesion but not talent. The Pumas are improving as we speak, and the Aussies are trying their best but keep giving away yellows. What's next in the world of rugby? Only the scariest series of games any rugby player can play. World Cup warm-ups! Every weekend from now until the end of August, we'll see various teams play each other to try and get match fitness and final tweaks. We will all be watching and cringing at every tackle and hit, hoping our DuPont or Keenan doesn't get folded into a shape that requires surgery and 8 weeks recovery. During the 2019 warm-ups, England and South Africa laid waste to all before them. Maybe we'll be able to suss out the finalists in this year's warm-ups as well. Right now, New Zealand are looking pretty well on track, and it remains to be seen if Ireland and France are looking equally dangerous after coming out of their off-season. Good luck to any players still vying for World Cup spots, and please don't tackle any knees with your heads. News for your ass! Not much news this week. I guess I could mention that Malia got cited for nearly taking Grant Williams' head off. The committee or judges or commissioner thinks that the collision actually did meet the red card threshold. This does not mean that the ref was biased. This does not mean that there's a conspiracy against us. This does not mean that you should send death threats to referees ever. Malia getting a red card would not have helped us hold on to the ball, and Malia getting a red card would not have helped us get first up tackles. Refs fuck up, just like the rest of us. You can be sure that I was shouting every swear word I could think of at the ref on Saturday, but that was only in the moment. I try and be like the players on the field and move on from each event as quickly as possible. I wish more people would try that. I'm sure the ref got a proper bollocking from the coaches and other refs in his post-match review. We might not see it, but it does happen, I promise you. Also, I can promise you that's about as much as I'll ever say about a referee. They are people, and rugby is a hard game to get right. Just look at our players. And that is also all I'll have to say about this week's rugby update. I will see you all next week after the Pumas have gotten their revenge at home. Now I feel bad. Bye.
Ja. Altijd net hierdie stuk wat altyd moeilik was om terug na die groep. Thank you.